Regional City Council meeting is now in session. Today's date is November the 2nd, 2020. Please rise for the invocation of the Pledge of Allegiance. Fathers, we come in prayer this evening. We ask you for the wisdom and the strength to go forward in our community. We also want to thank you for the freedom that we enjoy every day. Be with our country tomorrow as we go forward polls and we vote for a leader. Let us reach for kindness and understanding rather than hate. In this we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, please call the roll.
Wayne. Here. Booth.
Here.
Avens.
Here.
Winkle.
Here.
Hung. Here. Molesky.
Here.
DeVries.
Here.
Mayor.
Here.
Service Director.
Here.
Law Director.
Here.
Engineer.
Here.
Auditor.
Here.
Clerk of Council. Here.
Tonight before you see we have the City Council meeting minutes of October the 19th, 2020. Are there any changes or corrections at this time? Hearing none, those minutes are approved. We also have the Board of Zoning and Building Appeals meeting minutes of October the 22nd, 2020. We have the Civil Service Commission meeting minutes of October 27th, 2020. And we have the Parks and Recreation Commission meeting minutes, September 23rd, 2020. That will now bring us to the lobby section. At this time, we will turn it over to our clerk to see if there's anybody waiting in the lobby session. As you know, you can go to the city website and it gives you instructions there as to how to join the meeting. We've been doing this for a few months now, trying to make sure to keep people involved in the community. You can go on and join us live, or you may send your questions or comments ahead of time, and City Council as well as the Mayor administration will try to address those accordingly. At this time, are there anybody waiting in the lobby session?
Not at this time.
Okay, we're going to pause for 30 seconds and see if anybody joins us. Does anybody join us at this time?
Not at this time.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and move forward to the administrative reports. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. President. On tonight's agenda, on the first readings, there's two pieces of legislation, T119 and T121, that I'll ask to have the emergency clause added to them. T119 is for the purchase of Bobcat and sewer cleaner for our service department. Because these items are built when ordered, we're asking for the emergency so the vendors can begin building the equipment to our specifications. The second piece of legislation is T121. This ordinance authorizes the city to purchase a wood chipper for the service department. A portion of the purchase is being funded through a community incentive grant from the Lorain County Solid Waste Management District, also affectionately referred to as our recycling grant. The emergency passage is needed in order to complete the purchase and close out the grant with the county by December 16th to stay in good standing for future grant applications. The problem with that is we had to get special permission to apply for the 2020 grant, and that has shortened our time frame by a tremendous amount of time. Normally the grant, you apply to it no later than July 10th. And so that cuts down our ability to get this done in a timely manner. On election day, that is tomorrow, you can vote between the hours of 6:30 and 7:30. That's 6:30 a.m. and 7:30 p.m. Got a lot of time in there. If you haven't voted already, please do so. If you don't know your polling location, visit the Board of Elections at votelorainecounty.ohio.gov and click on the polling place lookup. Today kicks off the holiday food and toy drive for community care. Non-perishable food items and new toys in original packaging are needed for community care in order to help those families that are less fortunate. Drop-off boxes will be located at City Hall and Parks and Recreation. Items can be dropped off at these locations through December 4th, and our Parks and Recreation staff will deliver collected items to community care. And as a reminder, City Hall offices will be closed on Wednesday, November 11th in observance of Veterans Day. Thank you for serving to our country and protecting our freedoms to all those veterans out there. And finally, as a last item, we have an opening on the Civil Service Commission. And at this point, I'd like to nominate Don Schiffbauer for that position. Don has been a long-term resident. He is currently the Chief Executive Officer at the Nord Center, and he's also involved in various organizations throughout the city, including Old Town Hall Theater and I believe it was soccer that I first met Don. So Don's been around in various capacities. He'd be an excellent addition to that organization.
I'll second that. It was moved by the mayor, seconded by DeVries to bring Mr. Schiffbauer on the Civil Service Commission. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Congratulations, Don. Mr. Mayor.
That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Safety Director.
Over the last several months, we've had a lot of the food trucks have been parked. It's been difficult for our fire department to actually catch them when they're open. We finally worked out some issues that when we find the food truck, we're actually calling them, asking them to come to the fire station to get checked out to make sure. Most recently, DoDaddy was the 31st was over on Avalon Drive, or actually not on Avalon Drive. We asked him to hopefully move it, and I think he did. I'm not sure that he was there, but he was found, that food truck was found to be safe, and we'll continue to do that as we know where the food trucks are. They just kind of show up at somebody's house. We don't have any idea whether their propane tanks are safe or not, or whether they have them or don't have them. So trying to make those food trucks as safe as possible. I know the health department is making them safe from standpoint of food safety. We need to make sure there's fire safety, and if they're using propane, that the right things are being done. We, if you've noticed St. Peter's Church over here, the ones and twos that Brian Rollich has placed in actually gone around. There's probably another 10 foot of earth between the corner of the gym and the ditch at this point, because that's where we placed a lot of that dirt. And that track hoe is now moved by Crossroads. It's over at Frontier Park, working with our other track hoe to not only enhance the area over there for flooding, but give the people in Mills Creek down at the end where there's a direct left, maybe a little bit of protection as we shelf off that corner to allow that water to kind of go into Frontier and then stay there a little bit longer and not just go rush down and try to go over at the end at the other end on that direct left. That concludes my report tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Safety Service Director. Mr. Engineer.
Just a couple things tonight. All of our full depth projects are, have a couple of things left. With all the rain of the last couple of weeks, we haven't been able to get those through. Our traffic striping and crack sealing is in the same boat. They've had some issues over, obviously with the rain over the last couple of weeks. We've got some concerns, some reflectivity issues with these traffic striping. We are working with the contractor on that, so we'll be working with that vendor to make sure everything's good before they're complete. And that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Engineer. Ms. Auditor.
No report this evening.
Under other reports, we have October's 2020 Parks and Recreation Director's Report. We have the September 2020 Mayor's Court Reports, and we have September 2020 Police Department Reports. And that will bring us to recess.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Booth.
make a motion to dispense with recess.
It was moved by Booth, second by Molesky to dispense with recess. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? And that will bring us to first readings. T-116.
T-116, 2020, a resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Booth.
can I ask through the chair, when is this due to the county?
It is actually due to the county today. They have graciously allowed me to turn the resolution in signed tomorrow. So you will be getting an email from the clerk asking that it be signed tomorrow morning.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr.
I move the auditor's comments. I'll make a motion to dispense with second and third readings.
Second.
It was moved by Booth, second by Winkle to dispense with the second and third readings. All in favor, say yes. Yes.
Yes.
All opposed?
Mr. President, I make a motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, I make a motion to add the emergency so that we can go as timely as possible and meet the deadline.
Second.
It was moved by Booth, second by Winkle to add the emergency clause to T-116 for the reasons stated. On the emergency clause itself, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? It was then moved by Booth, seconded by Winkle to adopt T-116 with that emergency clause in place. Are there any comments or questions at this time? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swing,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Havens,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Hung. Yes. Molesky,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The resolution passes unanimously and becomes Resolution 1505, 2020.
T-117.
T-117, 2020, a resolution to authorize the execution of then and now certificates by the fiscal officer and the payments of amounts due for various purchase orders.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Bush.
make a motion to dispense with second and third readings. Second.
It was moved by Booth, second by Molesky to dispense with the second and third readings. All in favor, say yes. All opposed?
Mr. President, I make a motion to adopt. Mr. President, I make a motion to add the emergency, the work's been done, the building's been submitted to me, bid yet.
Very good. Is that you? Okay. It was moved by Booth, seconded by Molesky to add the emergency clause to T-117 for the reasons stated by Councilman Booth. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? It was then moved to adopt T-117 with that emergency clause, moved by Booth, seconded by Molesky. Are there any comments or questions at this time?
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Winkle.
I'll be abstaining from this vote. I have a professional relationship with the vendor.
Very good. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swain,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Havens,
Yes.
Winkle,
Abstain?
Hung. Yes. Molesky,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The motion carries unanimously, 6-6. I'm sorry. 6-1 abstention.
Mr. President, can we get the resolution number?
I'm sorry, 1506, 2020.
Thank you.
T-118.
T-118, 2020, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Ridgeville to advertise for bids and enter into contract according to law and in a manner prescribed by law with the lowest and best bidder for the Chestnut Ridge Road and alternative State Route 83 roundabout project and other appurtenances associated with the Ohio Public Works Commission funding round 34, not to exceed $780,000.
T119.
T 2020, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Ridgeville to purchase vehicles and related equipment for the service department through the Ohio Cooperative Purchase Program and the Ohio Department of Transportation Cooperative Purchasing Program, and to enter into contract with outside vendors not to exceed the below stated prices.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Booth.
make a motion to dispense with the second and third readings.
Second.
It was moved by Booth, seconded by Winkle to dispense with the second and third readings for the reasons stated earlier. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed?
Mr. President, make a motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, make a motion to add the emergency as these items are built to order. We need to expedite the passage of this so that we can have these as quickly as possible for the health, safety, and welfare of our community.
Second.
It was moved by Booth, seconded by Winkle to add the emergency clause to T119 for the reasons stated. All in favor, say yes. All opposed? It was then moved by Booth, seconded by Winkle to adopt T119 with that emergency clause in place. Are there any comments or questions at this time? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swank,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Havens,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Hung,
Yes.
Oleski,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The motion carries unanimously and becomes ordinance 5776, 2020.
T120.
T 2020, an ordinance amending ordinance number 5690, 2019 of the city of North Ridgeville, providing appropriations for the period commencing January 1st, 2020 and ending December 31st, 2020.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Booth.
make a motion to dispense with the second and third readings.
Second. It was moved by Booth, seconded by DeVries to dispense with the second and third readings. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed?
Mr. President, may I ask through the chair to the auditor, is there a reason that this needed to be passed by emergency, and if so, why?
This ordinance does need to be passed by emergency, and the reason is, during the original appropriations, there was not enough funds to pay the 1% and 3% fee to the state of Ohio, and now we have, the invoices are sitting, waiting to be paid.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Mr. President, in lieu of the auditor's comments, I'll make a motion to, have you already made a motion to adopt?
We've already dispensed second and third, so we need a motion for adoption.
I'll make a motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to add the emergency as the funds need to be put into the account and appropriated for the item to be paid.
Second.
It was moved by Booth, seconded by Winkle to add the emergency clause to T120 for the reasons stated by the auditor. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? It was then moved by Booth, seconded by Winkle to adopt T120 with the emergency clause in place. Are there any final comments or questions at this time? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swank,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Havens,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Hung,
Yes.
Oleski,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The ordinance passes unanimously and becomes 5777, 2020.
T121.
T 121, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Ridgeville to purchase a wood chipper for the service department through the Ohio Cooperation Purchasing Program, not to exceed the below stated price.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
move to dispense with the second and third readings.
Second.
It was moved by the mayor, seconded by Booth to dispense with the second and third readings. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed?
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, move to add the emergency clause to T121. For the reason being that we need to purchase the chipper in a timely manner and close out the grant funding by December 16th.
Second.
It was moved by the mayor, seconded by Booth, to add the emergency clause to T120 for the reasons stated by the mayor. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? It was then moved by the mayor, seconded by Booth, to adopt T121 with that emergency clause in place. Are there any comments or questions at this time? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swain,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Avens,
Yes.
Winkel,
Yes.
Hung. Yes. Maleski,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The motion carries unanimously and becomes ordinance 5778, 2020.
That'll bring us to second readings. T109.
T109, 2020, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Ridgeville to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the city of Avon, Avon Lake, Sheffield Lake, and Sheffield Village for a 5-city radio system.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
we were recently informed that the FEMA grant that we had applied to that was tied to this system was not funded. And so at this point, I will make a motion to strike T109 from the agenda.
Second.
It was moved by the mayor and seconded by Hung to strike T109. Are there any comments or questions at this time?
President, I will inform you that I know that there is still the need. It is something that we're going to have to take a look at. The fact that the grant was for $1 million to get radios kind of throws things into a little bit of flux with the finances of all the different communities that are involved. We'll have to circle back and look at how we move forward, or if we do. I can tell you that when the grant was applied for, one of the conditions of the grant writer that was hired was that if it was not funded, that they would have to write the grant a second time for no cost. So there is no reason for us not to go forward with that grant no matter what, because radios will work on various systems. So we will at least try to do that again, but as far as the infrastructure to create the system, that's something that we're still going to have to take a look at.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, a motion to strike T109. Clerk, please call the roll.
Swain,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Avens,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Hung.
Yes.
Maleski,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The motion to strike T109 passed unanimously.
There are no third readings for meeting announcements. We have the next city council meeting is scheduled for Monday, November the 16th, 2020, right here at City Council Chambers.
Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. Booth.
If I could just add just a message to all residents with the fall in full swing now, leaves dropping. It certainly would be appreciative of everyone if you would first not break your leaves into ditches. If you have a culvert near your home, if you can kind of keep an eye on it and break the leaves out of it. Keep leaves out of the street. You're not allowed to blow leaves into the street when you're cleaning your own yard. Just do some common sense things to help our safety and service employees try to keep us safe during this rainy season as well. The rain goes downhill, and when it can't go downhill into the sewer because the leaves are blocking it, that can cause some flooding problems that we don't need to deal with. So if you could do that, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Booth. Any other comments or questions? All right, hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.